Look, Clara, I give you the TARDIS. No, okay, I give you the TARDIS. Okay, what about this?
See what I called it?
2D is. 2Ds.
No, TUDIS. It's called the TUDIS. Why do I even bother?
Hello, it's Who Time, and apologies for my pathetic Capaldi impression there. He's difficult to imitate. Anyway, today we're talking about prop replicas. I'm hoping this will be the first of many videos. I have just completed work on a TUDIS, as seen in the fantastic Series 8 episode called Flatline. The 12th Doctor hashed this together from bits in the TARDIS and gave it to Clara. It changes the dimensions of objects from 3D to 2D and vice versa. In Flatline they were up against these creatures called the Boneless, who were invading from a two-dimensional plane. So this was a useful little tool against those terrifying foes. Need a reminder? Here it is in action. And this stuck in the mind partly because of the way it was introduced, and also because of its lovely design. I love it. Fortunately, I found a way to get one. Now, it's not just a simple buy and deliver. This requires a bit of time and effort. So if you want to know how to make your own, then stick around and keep watching. There are in fact two steps. First, you need to grab yourself a calculator. Now, this is a Sinclair Scientific Calculator from 1974. It comes in white, and it has grey and blue buttons, and has this black outline around the keypad, and it was unusually made in England. It measures 11 centimetres or 4.5 inches by 5 centimetres or 2 inches. There are plenty of reference images and plenty of information on the internet about this. It even has its own Wikipedia page. Who knew? So how do you get one? Well, your best bet is eBay. They come up on there now and then, varying in price. I saw one back in March that was at a reasonable price, but then there was also one that I think was in Serbia that was like $300, which is crazy. I even saw one much sooner than that in June 2020, that was like 30, 40 quid. Personally, I got mine from America for about 40 quid, but then I had to pay postage and custom on top of that, so it's probably about 60 in the end. Nevertheless, I have it, which is great. So this part, step 1, requires quite a lot of patience. You have to keep an eye out. Right, step 2, now you need to grab your casing that goes around your calculator. So how do you get your hands on this? Well, you need to head to Etsy. There is a prop maker by the name of Volta Props on there who sells 3D prints of the outer casing. Now you have two purchase options. You can either buy this 3D print unassembled and unpainted, where you have to source the wiring and this metal antenna separately. This will set you back 50 quid plus postage. Or you can get the fully assembled, painted and wired up version for 85 quid plus postage. Now it's up to you whether you want to save a bit of cash and undertake the assembly and painting yourself. Obviously in terms of painting, it's not that difficult. It's basically grey and white with a bit of silver and black. Personally, I didn't want to have the faff of sourcing the wiring and the antenna, so I went with the more expensive version. So now you have the two parts ready to go. Obviously we need to put them together to make the final prop, but it's not just a case of pop in the calculator and Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your aunt. It's a bit more difficult than that. For a start, we need to put this wire into this button here with the arrow on it. Down here, so that goes in there. We also need to stick this bit on the front of the calculator. So let me show you how. First, you need to grab a flat-headed screwdriver and put it into the gap between the two halves of the calculator casing and gently twist. Once the casing splits in two, the circuit board can be separated from its casing. You then need to gently prise open the bottom left corner of the keypad so you can slide out the button with the downward arrow symbol above it. After that, you can then reassemble the calculator, popping the circuit board back into place and then closing the two halves of the casing up again. Next, you need to pop 4 AAA batteries into the calculator so you can turn it on once the full prop is assembled. Once that's done, you can then pop the calculator into the 3D printed casing and glue the wire inside the hole where the button used to be. Last but not least, we need to stick this TUDIS sign piece onto the front of the calculator. Now I want to be able to have the option to remove this part without damaging the calculator itself, so I'm using one of these small double-sided command hanging strips. Alternatively, you can of course use superglue or contact adhesive. When you stick it on, make sure that the piece covers up the words Sinclair Scientific, and that it lines up with the left side edge of the calculator with the top of the piece touching the raised calculator screen. To the right of the piece, you should be able to see the word add, AD, and the number 10, plus a load of other digits further across. On my version, they're somewhat weathered away, which adds a bit of character to it, I think. And now you're finished! Hooray! Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm hoping to do more Doctor Who prop videos in the future because I have built and continuing to build a collection of Doctor Who props alongside the DVDs, the Blu-rays, figures and costumes to my wife's despair. Well, thanks for watching, guys and gals. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and click on that bell for notifications. You can also follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @WhoTimeUK. Cheers again for watching and I'll see you in the next one.